Good morning. I'm Thomas Buchanan. It's Friday, TGIF. I'm a little surprised. As you can tell, I'm cold. I'm sitting under a blanket. I'm a little surprised today. I'm down almost a half pound. I'm down 4/10 of a pound. I dropped back to 220.8. I really think if not this weekend, probably sometime mid part of next week, I'll drop down into the 219, 218 area. A couple of comments that um, I thought I'd share with you today. First of all, the gentleman that challenged me, I don't know, 17, 18 weeks ago, he's in misery right now. He's going through his first week of a water fast challenge. He's finding out how difficult it is to start a water fast. You feel lousy, you look lousy, you sound lousy, you're hungry, you can't eat anything, you can't drink your 3, 5, 8 cups of coffee a day to get you going. You can't even have water your first week. Isn't that crazy? I want to watch this man lose weight. I predict this is the best thing that he's ever done in his lifetime. Now, for you folks on maintenance, and by the way, I don't mean to make fun of this gentleman. This is my 4th year now in water fasting, flipping between maintenance and actually starting a water fast. I walk the walk, I talk the walk, I talk the talk every day. This is not something I read out of a book or watched some video on YouTube from this crazy old man. I had to figure all this out on my own, and I'm sharing this information with you. For you folks on maintenance, this is for you. I'm going to challenge you to rescript when you eat. Rescript when you eat. Rescript your breakfast, rescript your lunch, rescript your dinner. What do I mean by that? Well, there are things that you and I can do when we sit down to eat. First, be the last to sit down. Now, you may say, well, come on, Thomas, excuse me? Who cares if I'm the first person at the table or the last person at the table? I do, and you should too. Here's why. If you're the first person that sits down at a table, what are you going to immediately do? You're going to take a sip of coffee. You're going to immediately take a sip of liquid, or you're going to take 1 or 2 or 3 bites of food. When you are the last person that sits down at a table, you don't eat as much. You don't eat as much because everybody else has already sat down at the table and started eating. Second, and a lot of this is common sense, but a lot of this you may not have thought of. Take smaller bites. Don't see how much you can shovel and pile on top of your fork or your spoon. Let me challenge you. When you take your fork and you're going to put food on your fork to shovel into your mouth, take half of what you normally would take. Third, avoid the, well, this is so good, I just want one more helping. I've already eaten what was on my plate. Now I'm going back for seconds and thirds. Don't do that. I don't care how delicious the meal was. You should never, ever go back for seconds and thirds. You should never, ever ask for more potatoes, more steak, period. And and the next, you know, the next point is just again common sense. You should never, I don't care how good the deal is, for you folks on maintenance who are eating real food, you should never go to a buffet. When you go to a buffet, you pay one price. You can eat as much as you want. You should never eat as much as you want. Again, I don't care how good the food is. Stop shoving food into your mouth. And this last point I want to make to you is, even before you sit down to eat, have a consumption quantity in mind. Even before you sit down at the table, say to yourself, I'm only going to eat half of what I would normally eat. I'm only going to eat a quarter of what I would normally eat. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? If you decrease the amount of food intake, you are going to decrease the amount of weight that you gain. And let me leave you with this thought. And again, these comments are only for those of you like me who are currently on maintenance. Okay, for you folks on your water fast, you're not allowed food, obviously. You're not allowed coffee, tea, milk, beer, wine, soda. And if you're doing your first week, you're not even allowed water. So think about this for you folks on maintenance. Let me challenge you. Every meal that you sit down to eat, let me challenge you to see how little you can eat. Not how much you can eat. Again, I don't care how good the food is. See how little you can eat. And I've got a sister-in-law, I'll give you this extra. I've got a sister-in-law that, I mean, her main dish is lasagna. Okay. And I made the mistake one time and one time only. She said, well, give me your plate and I'll serve you. And I said, oh, sure, thank you. She filled up the plate with a huge piece of lasagna. That was my first mistake. My second mistake was I ate it. I was stupid enough to clear my plate. Never clear your plate. Always leave food on your plate. Now, you may say, but that's wasteful. Well, you're somewhat correct. It is wasteful to throw away food. But going back to my sister-in-law, you never ever give someone else the control to determine how much you eat. The goal is not to see how much food you can fit on your plate. The goal when you're on maintenance is to see how little you can eat. The goal on maintenance is for you to take the dish of lasagna or whatever the food is, and for you to portion out how much you would like to eat. Don't give that control away to someone else. Now, I had a viewer contact me and he said, well, I eat out a lot. I travel a lot. I can't control the amount of food that they put on my plate when I'm in a restaurant. Well, sir, that's true. You can't control their serving size. But hear me, listen to me. You do have the power, you do have the control to control how much you consume. You do have the control and the power to manage the amount of food that you eat. So I don't want to hear you with the BMW disorder, bitch, moan, and whine, and give me the excuse that, well, I travel a lot, I eat a lot at restaurants, I can't lose weight. I feel for you. I've never had one of those travel jobs, but I've got your solution. Again, you cannot control the amount of food they put on your plate at a restaurant, but you do have control over the amount of food that you consume. Always, always, without exception, I'll say it again, always leave food on your plate. And I've got one more little tidbit for you who travel a lot and eat out a lot at restaurants. Not only should you always leave food on your plate, but after the waitress or the host takes your menu and you're sitting there and you're waiting on your food, what should you be doing? You should be thinking about the volume, the quantity of food that you're going to consume, even before your food is delivered. You will eat less if before your food is delivered, you determine you're only going to take 5 bites of steak and 5 bites of veggies and 5 bites of fill in the blank. You will eat less, you will weigh less if after you order, you have made an agreement with yourself that you're going to only eat 8 bites of meat, of veggies, of salad, of whatever. Make a contract with yourself before your food is delivered. And that, my friend, is how you can continue to lose weight or maintain your weight when you travel. Think about it. Implement the suggestions that I've just given you. Try it for yourself. See, I was raised, well, my mom and dad had 5 kids. And I mean, when your parents have 5 kids, I mean, when the food is put on the table, you fight each other for the food. There was never enough food to go around. But we were always taught there are starving kids in India. You eat every bite on your plate. That is so wrong to teach a child. That is so wrong to teach an adult. And that's ingrained in me even today. I think it is so wasteful for me to leave food on my plate because of what my parents taught me. But I've learned you must leave food on your plate. And you should never ask for seconds. I don't care how mouth-watering delicious it is. Think about what I've said. I do not update my channel Saturday and Sundays. I'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Have a productive day. Get out and have some fun today. It's gloomy here in Texas. I'm still going to have a great day today. And let me leave you with this. Watch what comes out of your mouth. You may look at me and say, well, what do you mean, Thomas? Watch your self-talk. Watch what comes out of your mouth, because there is someone very important listening. And you may say, well, no, there's no one listening. I'm the only one in the room. That's my point exactly. Watch what comes out of your mouth, because someone important is listening. That's you. Make it a great day. Make it a productive day. For you folks, especially for the gentleman that put me through 17, 18 weeks of a maintenance water fast challenge, don't you dare cheat. I'm watching you, buddy. You're fat, you're obese at 450 plus. I want you to at least get down to the weight where I started at. I started at 315. Wouldn't that be a godsend if you could go from 450 plus down to 315? You'll get there. Be persistent. Don't cheat. Don't give up. It's hard. Yes, let me offer you these words of encouragement. It does get better. It does improve. I'll see you on Monday.